All right, everybody. So last week we read about some changes in the 20th century in Arizona and how they affected life, not just in Arizona, but all around the world. So we're going to kind of talk about some other changes in the world this week. And these changes are going to kind of stem from the early civilizations. And we're going to be looking at some of the evidence of those early civilizations that we still see today. So we're kind of bouncing around a little bit, but we're basically talking about all the different parts of Arizona history that led to Arizona being the way it is today. There were a lot of ancient civilizations that contributed to our current history and our current culture. So this week's newspaper talks a lot about that and the way the world has changed, especially with the focus here on Arizona. So we're going to start off by talking about changing cultures. And if you see there the picture right on the front, we see a couple of young ladies there dressed in some very traditional clothing from some of the early civilizations. This week, we're taking a look at how things have changed in the Americas since the time of the Maya, Inca, and Aztec civilizations. Journey with us to Mexico, Peru, Guatemala, and other places to learn about the population and culture of the people who live there today. Things have changed in many ways, but the influence of the early civilizations can still be found. It's been more than 4 centuries since Spanish explorers conquered the people of the ancient Americas. The Maya, Inca, and Aztec civilizations may have been conquered, but they were not wiped from the face of the earth. Descendants, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, of the ancient people are still around. Now, that word there, descendants, used to be a little bit of a confusing word for kids until Disney did a little something that helped that word to make a whole lot more sense. If you think about the Disney show Descendants, it talks all about the children and grandchildren of some of Disney's most famous evil characters. Well, descendants aren't always evil or coming from evil characters, but descendants are the people that are following other people. So grandchildren, great-grandchildren, so on and so forth. We are all descendants from the older people in our family. Just to help make sure everybody is understanding that word there. Nearly half of the population of Peru, around 14 million people, are descendants of the Inca. Many older people who live in the remote villages of the Andes Mountains speak only Quechua, the Inca language. Now, if you remember how to do this, we're going to highlight that there because that's going to come up later, this Quechua, the Inca language. In Mexico, more than 1.7 million people are of Aztec heritage and still speak some form of the native language, Nahuatl. I am not sure if I am pronouncing that correctly. I do the best that I can on that one. But there's another important piece of information, the Aztec language, Nahuatl. As many as 6 million Maya descendants are living in Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, and other countries. The Maya language in all its forms is still spoken by more than 4 million people. That's a lot of people to still be speaking such an ancient language. The descendants of the Maya, Inca, and Aztec civilizations have somehow managed to keep their heritage alive. It can be found in their art, music, and dance. Descendants continue to celebrate ancient holidays and ceremonies. Many Maya communities still follow the ancient Maya calendar and even have day keepers who keep track of the passing days. That might come up later, this idea of day keepers. Kids, you would know day keepers as your parents. They're the ones that keep track of your passing days. But these communities have people that are dedicated to following the calendar and keeping track of all the days that have passed. Some experts worry that the culture of the Maya, Inca, and Aztec will not survive long in our modern world. They are hoping to preserve the rich heritage left by these three amazing civilizations. So there's a lot of people that are worried that these ancient civilizations are just going to kind of disappear, and any record or remembrance of them will disappear along with them. But as long as people are still following these traditions, then those cultures will stick around for a really long time, and that's an amazing thing, because we'll get to see the benefit of hearing about all of these ancient civilizations and the things that have been passed down for years and years and years to come. So I'm going to end this video here, and I will record the next couple of pages on a separate video.